Hey Spotifyers, tap the banner to listen to Self-Care, the ultimate soundtrack for your me time, brought to you by Mecca Beauty Loop, where your beauty obsession is rewarded. Join Beauty Loop today and unlock exclusive rewards at every level, including Mecca's unmissable Beauty Loop boxes, early access to the latest beauty launches, members-only events.
be starting in just a moment, so I just wanted to flag a couple of things first. If you're looking for bathrooms, they're out this way. Smoking area is outside, obviously. And I know that some people are here on a lunch break, and so if you need to leave at any point, please feel free. This event is being live streamed, and you'll be able to watch it back a bit later. We have a drink station over here if you'd like to grab yourself a tea or a coffee. There is soft drinks and water up the back as well. If you have any dietary restrictions, please be sure to speak to Lisa or Kate, and they'll be able to make sure you are adequately fed. On the way in, there's a couple of bits over there that you can grab. So if you'd like to grab a sprig of rosemary if you haven't already. There are also some very beautiful fridge magnets that Lisa has made as a little token of the day. There's also little cat-shaped cards on there, and you're invited to write as much as you want. You don't need to write it out at the table. Feel free to take it back to your table, write on it, and then afterwards deposit it into the litter box that's on the table over there. There's also at the back, we've got a memorial table, so there's such incredible memorabilia back there. So go have a look back on all the memories, and don't take anything. But grab a drink, go to the bathroom if you like, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes.
In numbers too big to ignore, and I know too much to go back and pretend, 'cause I've heard it all before, and I've been down there on the floor. No one's ever gonna keep me down again. Whoa, yes, I'm wise, but it's wisdom born of pain. Yes, I paid the price, but look how much I gained. If I have to, I can do anything. I am strong, I am invincible, I am woman. You can bend but never break me, 'cause it only serves to make me more determined to achieve my final goal. And I come back even stronger, not a novice any longer, 'cause you've deepened the conviction in my soul. Oh yes, I am wise, but it's wisdom born of pain. Yes, I paid the price, but look how much I gained. If I have to, I can do anything. I am strong, I am invincible,
Hello, everybody. Did everyone grab a drink? I'm taking that as a yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Andrea Beaumont, and it is with a heavy but incredibly full heart that I welcome you to today's memorial service celebrating the life of Maret Archer. I'd like to invite forward Amanda to acknowledge country.
Today we hold this memorial event for Maret Archer on the land of the Darug people. We acknowledge that theirs is a living custodianship, and we see the impacts of their care for country, their unending efforts with local councils and governments to protect this country and culture, to create beautiful spaces and remind us of the long histories of those who walked and lived here on the lands for 60,000 years and more before our time. Maret lived on the Yurin land, on the beautiful south coast of New South Wales, and was grateful and proud to work and live on the Darug lands for the past 2 decades. She held in her heart hope for the justice for the First Nations people of this country. Today, in this peaceful and lovely place, we pay respects to the traditional caretakers, the elders who continue to provide guidance, the young leaders who are bringing ancient wisdom into the world of the future, and to Aboriginal persons here today. We are grateful for and acknowledge the generosity of First Nations people in sharing their law and wisdom with the wider community, and hope that their goodwill will become the practice for all Australians.
Sorry, I just felt like such beautiful words needed a clap afterwards. Before we go much further, I'd also like to thank everyone who's had a hand in pulling today together. This was such a collaborative community effort, which really shows who Maret was as a person. So on her behalf, I'd like to thank you all, and please give yourselves a big round of applause for everyone who's made today possible. Although I'm sure you're already well aware of this, I'll say it just in case. Today will be a bit of an emotional roller coaster. We've all been on it for several weeks now, and unfortunately, there's just no getting off. It's just what we have to endure. So with that said, when you are feeling overwhelmed with grief or sadness, I'd like to remind you all to think back on the beautiful moments that you spent with Maret and the incredible impact that she had on your life. Maret was expressive and she was authentic. Keep those values in your heart today as we move through this service, and let yourself feel however you feel. Cry when you want to cry, laugh when you want to laugh. And you know that Maret would love to see you all laugh today. Hold each other and look after each other, and we'll get through this together. To everyone here and watching on the live stream, or will watch the recording later, thank you. Whether you saw her every day or you loved and supported her from afar, whether you knew her intimately or intermittently, whether you knew her for 5 minutes or for 60 years, you all played a part in one way or another in shaping who she was as a person. You're a product of those you surround yourself with, so go forth knowing that you were a part of one of the best people this world has ever known, and you'll carry her with you into the rest of your life too. Maret will be missed, and unfortunately for everyone here, grief is just love with nowhere to go. We grieve hard because we love hard, and Maret was so very loved. It may not feel like it right now, but all the love that you have for that woman is worth celebrating. In a world full of chaotic and infinite possibilities, it is nothing short of a miracle that your path intercepted with the path of Maret Archer, and that will always be worth celebrating. I'd like to invite forward Maret's daughter Lisa to share the eulogy.
Good thing I can't see anyone with these glasses on. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us in person and via live stream to celebrate the life and times of my mama, Maret Therese Archer. My biggest problem when writing this eulogy, other than whether or not I could get through it without ugly crying, was figuring out how to condense down all that my mama meant to me and all that she has done with her 75 trips around the sun. And then I was reminded by Christine of a birthday card I made for her 70th birthday, where I listed all the words that I thought described her. It was quite the list. My mama was a remarkable woman. Don't worry, I won't go through the list. Anyone who was lucky enough to know her knows the best and worst of her. My mama was an unconventional woman, and I believe that her eulogy should be just as unconventional. So I will not be giving you a potted history of her life in chronological order, but instead I want to tell you about the woman she was, the life she lived, the mother she was, and about some of the values that she passed on to Shannon and I that helped shape us into the obviously amazing adults we are today. Feel free to nap during the boring bits. Mama knew from a young age that she was a lesbian, but at that time, late 60s, early 70s, marriage was supposed to cure her of this affliction, so she got married to my father. And even though the marriage didn't last long because she finally stopped denying who she was. She often told me that the only two things... You okay, Bubba? Okay. She often told me that the only two things my father was good for was giving her myself and my younger brother Shannon. She loved us and did the best she knew how to do for us. She taught us to be independent adults and made sure we both had practical life skills. She knew which end of a hammer was up, and she put Shannon's first bike together. Unfortunately for Shannon, it was Christmas Eve, and she'd gotten home drunk from a Christmas party when she put it together, so he wasn't allowed to ride it until she'd checked it over once she sobered up. She let us explore our world and was there to help us up when we fell. She trusted us to make our own decisions and didn't yell too much when we made bad ones, as teenagers are wont to do. The first time I let her see me come home drunk, she didn't scold me, she put me to bed and told me the next day that she was pissed off I didn't have a hangover. She was the mum that helped a lot of my female friends get the pill and was the adult a lot of kids felt they could talk to. She was involved in our school and sports activities, joining the PNC and becoming the secretary of the South Coast Soccer Association when Shannon played soccer. Mama gave us a strong work ethic. She's worn a lot of hats over the years. She's been a shop assistant, mother's help, housekeeper, Jillaroo, home helper, lawnmower, delivery driver, and the supervisor of a vacation play centre. But it wasn't until 1984, after completing the, for her, life-changing New Opportunities for Women course, she found her calling supporting women in women's refuges, rising up through the ranks to coordinator, the boss. After this career had run its course, she went on to work for Doc's Helpline and put her spare time into her favourite gig, acting. In 2004, Mama started acting as a side hustle, mostly in commercials and various TV shows. It wasn't until 2011 in Howzos and being Beryl that she got somewhat of a cult following. Beryl was recognised fairly regularly and she enjoyed interacting with her mostly young male, go figure, fans. When she spoke about it once, she told me she thought that maybe Beryl reminded them of their own mothers, which she thought was a bit scary for the young men. She taught us to stand up for what we believed in. Mama was an activist. She fought for the rights of the marginalised and voiceless, and she wasn't afraid to express her opinion, no matter how unpopular it might have been at the time. She knew how to get shit done and put in the hard yards to get changes made for the better. She wanted women and children to feel safe and to be protected, especially those fleeing domestic violence. She taught us that we can do anything with enough determination and hard work. Mama organised the first ever Maria Women's Music Festival held in 1989. It was a huge undertaking and the first of its kind in our sleepy little town. Women came from far and wide to participate and it was a great success. She taught us that it's never too late. I was so proud the day I watched her graduate from UTS at the age of 52 with a Bachelor of Adult Education. Even though she told me some years later that she doesn't know how she did it while working full-time and commuting to Eastwood from the Central Coast every day with yet to be diagnosed sleep apnea. She taught us about mental and emotional health. While living in Maria, Mama discovered co-counselling. which is defined as a grassroots method of personal change based on reciprocal peer counselling. When she first told Shannon and I that she was going to start co-counselling, Shannon was quite shocked and said, "You're not, are you?" Mum asked, "What did he think?" she said. And he replied, "Cocaine selling." Thankfully, that misunderstanding was cleared right up. Co-counselling helped her deal with a lot of the trauma of her past and to be a more emotionally available adult. She didn't hold grudges, and if you ever had an argument with her, she never closed the door on your relationship with her. She taught us the value of $1. We were not a wealthy family. Mama stretched every dollar as far as it could go by reusing and recycling, like many of her generation and earlier generations before it became a new thing. And as teenagers, we learned how to get what we wanted by other means. I wanted clothes, so I taught myself to sew. Shannon traded and bartered for the things he wanted. She was always quietly impressed that in his youth he managed to trade his way all the way up from a bicycle to a car without spending a cent. While living on the Central Coast, she discovered garage sales, and they soon became her passion. She would comb through the paper and plot a course in her map book, no fancy GPS in those days, and take off early on a Saturday morning in search of treasures, either for herself or others. And if you asked her for something, or you told her you collected a particular thing, be prepared. She would get every single one she could find for you at the lowest price she could haggle down to until you had to tell her to stop. She taught us to be prepared. Mama was a prepper before prepping became a thing. Quite the visionary, my mother. When Y2K was supposed to be a thing, she was worried about having enough water stored, when Christine suggested that she just buy water purifying tablets instead of stockpiling water. Christine is convinced that this is when Mama fell in love with her. When COVID hit and the toilet paper shortage was upon us, she sat complacently knowing she already had enough toilet paper stockpiled to outlast any pandemic. She taught us to be organised. Mama was a great organiser of things, people, anything. Her motto was, "Lazy people make the best organisers because we don't want to have to do anything twice." She taught us that if metho can't fix it, nothing will. My mama was not a doctor. That's a bit of a family joke. She was like the father in my big fat Greek wedding with his Windex. Put metho, she's not a doctor. Put metho on it was her answer for any cut, scrape, bite, sting, pimple or skin infection. She taught us about nature. Mama loved animals and we always had pets of all kinds. Birds, rabbits, chooks, even a bantam rooster that I called Henny Penny because as a small child I couldn't believe anything that pretty was a boy. Cats, dogs, goldfish, mice, guinea pigs and even sheep. I like to think that all the fur babies were waiting for her on the other side of the Rainbow Bridge. A few years after she and Christine moved to Blacktown and I moved in with them, we started rescuing stray cats. Praxis, the resident cat at the time, was not happy with these newcomers, but they were, and still are, loved and pampered until their final day. She loved the beauty of the bush and the water. The sound of rain on the roof was her favourite sound in the world, with the sound of the waves running a close second. She taught us to have a sense of humour. Mama loved word play, and our family has its own language. Words we as kids or her grandsons have mispronounced have become a part of our everyday vernacular. We didn't have dad jokes, we had mum jokes. Every time we asked if we could have a pair, she would say, "What?" Yeah, exactly. A pair of what? When we said nighty-nighty, she said pyjamas, pyjamas. There was a lot of laughter in our family. We enjoyed each other's company, mostly. And we tried to find the funny side of most situations. But mostly she taught us about love. Mama loved her partner Christine and Christine's family, also known as the Outlaws, her kids Shannon and I, her son-in-law Michael, the mothers of her grandsons, Athena and Leah, her honorary granddaughter Louie, her grandsons Torrin, Athan and Harlan, her sisters Liz, Lynne and Gabby, her nephew Bob, her great-nephew Connor, her friends, you all know who you are, and all the fur babies, yet another long list I won't go into here, wholeheartedly. When she and Christine became a couple, she told me that she hoped I didn't have to wait 51 years to find the love of my life. Side note, I only had to wait 42. There's hope for everyone. How do I know Christine was the love of her life? Because even in her last conscious moments, she was asking if Christine was okay. Mama died from previously undiagnosed stage 4 bowel cancer, which had ruptured her bowel, which in turn caused sepsis, plus several other health complications. Again, long list, won't go into it here. So I'd like to finish by saying to those in the room and watching via live stream who are over 45, do your poo tests, people. Yes, Mum did hers last year, and yes, they found an anomaly. But a series of unfortunate events was what ultimately led to her passing. Again, a long story I won't go into here. I think the woman who was slightly obsessed with poo, she once emailed the State Library to ask how big a whale poo was, for crying out loud, wouldn't mind me bringing up this topic. You don't have a month to sit here and listen to all the stories I could tell, but I would be more than happy to talk to anyone who would like to know more about my mama later. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of those who had a hand in putting today together, and to thank everyone for listening and wanting to be here, either physically or virtually, as we celebrate my beautiful mama today, who I will miss until I see her again on the other side of the stars. Thank you. Thank you.
I'd now like to invite forward Maret's brother, Outlaw Philip, to give a toast, please.
No, grab your glasses. If you haven't got a drink, grab one, everybody. It's a toast. So the time has come to gather here to celebrate and share good cheer. So everybody grab your glass and turn your hearts to times gone past. Lift your head up to the sky. Just think back and close your eyes. To those we love and see no more, their spirits are with us forevermore. Remember Maret with all her light, her love and everything she shared with us. We were graced to have her in our lives, but now's the time to say goodbye. So here's to Maret, whose memory we shall treasure. May her spirit live in our hearts forever. To Maret.
Round of applause for Philip. I know everyone who's coming up to say a few words will probably not have a great time doing it, and so I want to make sure that everyone is feeling appreciated for it on behalf of Maret. So I know that there are hundreds of stories to be shared about Maret, and while I'd love to offer everyone time on the microphone to share, I know that we could be here for hours, if not days, with all the stories that there are. A handful of people will be invited forward to share some memories and anecdotes. I'll share some words on behalf of those that can't be here, and I'd strongly encourage everyone afterwards to continue sharing these stories today after the memorial and in the future too. First up, I'd like to invite forward Maret's sister Liz.
Although my main intention is to make it known that Maret saved my life, I also want to say I loved Maret. For me, her most endearing quality was her authenticity. I think you'll agree that she didn't even have a modicum of BS about her. And I hope my story will demonstrate that she also had innate wisdom. While our aunt was hospitalised for brain surgery, our parents took in our 3 cousins to our home in Cobargo. When they went to Wollongong to pick them up, Maret and I were left in Moruya with our maternal grandparents because 8 kids couldn't fit in the car from the journey to from Wollongong to Cobargo. So our neighbour Bobby Goff had agreed to pick Maret and me up in his semi-trailer and drive us from Moruya to Cobargo. His wife Del was going to keep an eye on us until our parents came home. We had lunch with the Goffs, and then afterwards Del allowed Maret, me and her daughter Balda, who was my age, to return to our house across the road. Maret and I were in good spirits in this very familiar environment, but it was a very different context because we were used to having other siblings and our parents in the house. The 3 of us proceeded to horse around while playing 78 RPM records on our old record player. Somehow this fun progressed to me chasing Maret around the house, and being 2 years older than I, bigger and stronger, she always got the better of me in such play. She whizzed through the side door and slammed it shut as she went, and I put my hand up, hoping to stop the door from slamming, but much to my surprise, my hand went right through the plate glass panel. It was one of these panel glass doors which you'll probably remember. Seeing the glass shattered on the dining room floor, I screamed, "Oh my God, Mum's going to kill us." And Maret said, "Your arm, Lizzie, your arm." And I said, "But the door, Mum will kill us." And then I realised I'd lacerated this arm here and I'd cut the artery here, and the blood was spurting forward more than a metre. We knew that I was in peril because an actress had recently killed herself by slitting her wrist. Valda went running across the road, screaming with blood-curdling intensity for help. Her mother, Del, came and joined us just at the edge of the road, and upon seeing me, she was absolutely horrified. She couldn't cope at all, and she actually looked like she was going to faint, and she went and got a sheet and wrapped it around my arm to just collect the blood. And then she went running around looking for a tourniquet to tie on my arm. She found a belt of our daughter's in the washing basket, but she couldn't tie it tightly enough because her hands were trembling so much. The nearest doctor was in Bega, 25 miles away, and the Goff's only vehicle was a semi-trailer, which they thought wouldn't make it in time to Bega Hospital. As fate would have it, it was Bega show day, and most Cobargo people were at Bega show. So the Goff's frantic knocks on neighbours' doors initially went unanswered. Fortunately, they found Mrs. Conn, our 28-year-old neighbour, home. She quickly got into our tiny car, despite her reservations about its limited capacity to reach the speed required for my survival. We drove down the road and turned to cross the bridge, whereupon we came upon Mr. Ayliffe, the local grocer. Mrs. Conn managed to flag him down, and within a flash we were in his car, a much more powerful machine than Mrs. Conn's 10-year-old Morris Minor, heading for Bega Hospital at top speed. With no prompting from an adult, Maret instinctively pushed the artery here to stop the blood flow. She was only 13 years old.
This poem is called Immortality by Claire Harner and was sent in by Maret's caring and loving friend of more than a decade. Do not stand at my grave and weep. I am not there. I do not sleep. I am 1,000 winds that blow. I am the diamond glints on snow. I am the sunlight on ripened grain. I am the gentle autumn rain. When you awaken in the morning's hush, I am the swift uplifting rush of quiet birds in circled flight. I am the soft stars that shine at night. Do not stand at my grave and cry. I am not there. I did not die. I'd now like to invite forward Maret's sister Lynne to share a few words.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for coming. I'd just like to, before I begin, I would like to take the opportunity to acknowledge the love and support Maret received from her wonderful partner, Christine, her children, Lisa and Shannon, and along with their partners, Michael and Leah, her grandchildren, Torrin, Athan, and the pocket rocket, Harlan, her good pal, Mez, and Christine's extended family. If I were to describe my sister Maret in one word, it would be fearless. From a young age, I remember her antics. She was 5 years old when I was born, and therefore our parents had 4 children under the age of 5. She was the first child and the first grandchild of our generation, so no doubt eagerly welcomed into the world. By the time I came along, our mother was probably too tired to be attentive, and Maret became a kind of surrogate mother who led the way. And she was way ahead, literally, because she had a red Malvern Star push bike. Whilst the rest of us had to walk to and fro school, she got to ride, and she loved that bike. When I was in kindergarten, she rescued me twice on that bike. Firstly, when a bully attacked me on the way home, pushing me to the ground and running over my head, Maret, 9 years old she was, appeared from nowhere, taking up the cause with gusto by jobbing the bully before loading me onto the bike and riding home. I went to the doctor for the nasty lump on my head, but no permanent damage, so they said. Not long after, she rescued me again. When on the way from school, Gabriel pulled the tail of a huge bull grazing untethered on someone's front lawn. The bull was not impressed and showed all the signs of charging. Gabby and Liz jumped a nearby fence, and I was caught like a rabbit in a spotlight when Maret appeared from nowhere on the Melbourne Star, like Wonder Woman in school uniform. She loaded me on the back and got the hell out of there. Fearless, I tell you. As cracker night approached, I remember Maret eagerly joining in the festivities. She'd tie a few tuppenny bungers together, like 5, with the wicks twisted into one resembling dynamite. She'd light the wick until it had burnt down to about half and throw it into the air just before it exploded. Fearless, bordering on reckless. So Maret was what we referred to as a tomboy, even at that age. In high school, Maret took a keen interest in music and science. She loved all those 50 schmaltzy singers, country and western mainly, and she loved to sing. She fashioned herself a masonite guitar, which she painted blue. Ever inventive, she used rubber bands as strings and nailed them to the thing with tacks. It didn't sound like a guitar, but she had a good imagination and we all joined in. Maret's interest in science was evident in the large collection of jars festooning her bedroom with dead specimens of spiders, snakes, worms and insects of all kinds pickled in methylated spirits. She became known in the town for her interest in such things, and random townsfolk would drop off dead specimens for her to add to her collection. Most 13 or 14-year-old girls would have been knee-deep in miniskirts and mascara in those days. I know the rest of us girls in the family were, but not Maret. She had high hopes and a low interest in boys. Maret left home to work in Sydney as a governess when she left school, and then went on to work as a jillaroo in Goulburn. Ultimately, she ended up in Wollongong, where she gave birth to her children, Lisa and Shannon. My son Bobby was born between her two, and we spent a lot of time together over a number of years, in and out of each other's houses. Fearlessly, Maret came out of the closet in 74 or 75 at a time in history most people here would know was literally dangerous. But she was not the kind of person to back down and made no apologies for being her true self. She struggled for a time, and for a while there was quite lonely and discombobulated. But my friend Deb found an ad in, I think, the Cosmopolitan for a lesbian support group in Sydney and gave her the number. Maret called and connected with her tribe, and she moved into her new life fearlessly. Maret was always interested in the world around her. She was intelligent, warm-hearted and erudite, as well as fearless. She moved back to our hometown and involved herself in its politics when necessary, and was not afraid to stand up for her beliefs. She campaigned against rape in war on Anzac Day, and through her involvement with the Women's Refuge, provided a safe haven for women and children who were victims of domestic violence. This proved dangerous to her at times, but she fearlessly continued in her work, no matter the danger to her personally. Through the years, I have always enjoyed my sister's flippant and irreverent sense of humour. Her love of her fellow human beings, along with their families, and her uncompromising support for the working and underclass in our society, whom she championed. Finally, when faced with her imminent death, Maret went out on her own terms, absolving her partner and children of having to make any of those hard end-of-life decisions for her, and faced death as fearlessly as she faced life. I've never been prouder of her.
A message from Maret's friend Maretta. Thank you so much for letting me know about Maret. This is so sad. I hope she wasn't too unwell. Maret was one of two people who helped me turn my life around. The other was Mez. If you see her, please say hi. Maret and I kept in touch irregularly. I remember that bright red car she used to drive to Bega Refuge. Maret and Mez and some others used to come to my place for games night. One time when my mum was staying, she said she really liked listening to all the fun us girls were having. We were in our 30s and 40s. My heart goes out to you. I'd now like to invite Liz back up to read on behalf of Gabby.
So Gabby is our sister between Lynne and me. This is called Maret the Jillaroo. Maret left home for the big smoke to work for a family at Darling Point. The patriarch, and I say that very kindly because I was very fond of him, was Dr. Frank Mills, a cardiac surgeon. He was also an acknowledged war hero surgeon who, after the World War II fall of Singapore in 1992, became a POW at Changi, Sandakan and Kuching. Among his achievements after the war was that he was the first Australian surgeon to do an open heart operation in Australia. Dr. Mills encouraged Maret's interest in the land, and she went to Sydney Tech at night to study wool classing. He arranged for her a job for her as a Jillaroo at Wollongong Pastoral Station, which was situated 25 miles from Goulburn along the Federal Highway and about 50 kilometres from Canberra. Oddly enough, for those times, Alison, the overseer at Wollongong, was a woman. Maret had to nail her colours to the mast from the moment she arrived and was champing at the bit to take up the challenge. She was determined to be as strong and as capable as any of the men she worked alongside. I thought she outshone all of them, for there was not one who could do any of the tasks as well as she could. She could cut a sheep's throat, skin it intact, cut it up and have it in the meat house in 15 minutes. During the lambing season, not one of them arose at daybreak every cold, frosty morning, often with light snow falling, driving around the paddocks, pulling the lambs, or as an obstetrician would say, extracting the fetus in an obstructed labour. She went from paddock to paddock, pulling those lambs, rubbing them down to bring them to life, and often removing the retained placenta from the mother. Whenever I could, I went along with her. On rare occasions, she was too late and the lamb didn't survive, but the mothers always did. Then after breakfast, yes, of course, it almost always was mutton chops and an egg. She'd go to work alongside the men, toenailing, worming, vaccinating, drenching, docking the tails off the older lambs, castrating the newborn male sheep, and generally attending to the massive flock of thousands of sheep. Maret was good mates with all the people she worked alongside, Jeff, Joe, Evan and Mitch. But she was particularly good mates with the cook at the homestead, Nancy, who was a rough diamond. Well into her 60s, Nancy worked to stake her boyfriend while he prospected for opal at Lightning Ridge. The big elusive bust, always just around the corner. Although the station was a company, the majority owner was Mr. Watson, who was affectionately known as Watto. He occasionally got her to run him into town for meetings. He was interested in knowing how his old mate, the doctor's protege, thought about things in general. He always got her to stop at the pub and on the way home shouted her a schooner or maybe two while they talked things over. During this shearing season, Maret was there in the forefront, rousting the sheep into the holding pens in preparation to be shorn, setting up for the day ahead, and then all during the day skirting, sorting the fleece once they were shorn, and tidying up the shed as well as any Jillaroo or Jackaroo ever did. Then at day's end, the sheep would be let out of their holding pens so that they could go back to what they did so wonderfully well, growing wool on their backs, making lambs and turning themselves into mutton chops or legs of lamb. Did I hear you ask, but could she shear those bloody sheep? Oh, you betcha.
So this message comes from Maret's friend Meg. I was very sad to hear that Maret is gone. She was a powerful woman with a huge heart and a refreshing capacity to be forthright. I won't be able to join you to celebrate her life, but I will certainly be doing it at home, sending you profound sympathy in your loss. Meg. Next, I'd like to invite up Maret's longtime friend Susie.
Afternoon, everyone. It's a very sad occasion. I can see that we're all enjoying some of those wonderful stories that Maret had, and my story would not be any different. But I think one of the things that I would like to mention is how grateful I was to Maret for many, many things. And one of the things in particular was the way that we would discuss matters when I would visit her. There was never any judgment. If I had something to say, she'd just take it on board, we'd discuss it. I missed out on a number of years knowing her because we met when I was in Maria in 1983. And then I went off to Canberra to go to university, and we lost touch. But fortunately for me, she found me on Facebook, so we have to be grateful to social media to some extent. Anyway, we reconnected, and I was lucky enough to also meet Christine at that time. Thank you, Christine. Lots of love. And so occasionally I would be able to get up to see them there at Blacktown, which is where they were at that time. They are at that time. Christine, you are at that time now. And there wasn't anything that was out of bounds in terms of discussion. But what I really loved, because we both loved cats, who doesn't? Well, hopefully most of you do. And we could discuss cats till the cows came home. And it wasn't a boring subject. You know, there'd be a new one coming along. She'd be out there feeding the new one. I'd be going, what? You've got 5. Do you need another one? No, it's not that I need them, they just come. Well, so there was clearly an aura around that house. There is an aura around that house for those wonderful cats and for the wonderful person that we've all loved and known, who was able to do the simplest things and the most difficult things with ease. Thank you.
This next reading was an acknowledgement given to Maret by her colleagues some years ago, but it captures a lot about her as a person, which she brought into her working life. In a celebration of Maret's life, it felt it's important to remember how she was truly, so it felt right to reshare this snapshot right now. Hear ye, hear ye. Let it be known on this 3rd day of December and the year 1999 of our goddess, that our learned and learning leader, Maret Archer, has been inducted into the Order of the Great Boss Owls. In recognition and appreciation of her wisdom, leadership, knowledge, great sense of humour, irreverence, humility, humanness, patience, tenacity, rock solidness in crisis, intestinal fortitude in dealings with government departments, and sheer bloody-mindedness necessary to provide the best service possible to the residents of Erin's Place, that have enabled her to create and maintain the best women and children's refuge in the universe. Next up, I'd like to invite forward Marie's friend and award-winning director, Paul Fenech.
I just want to say it's an honour to be amongst you all. I'm not a family member, just a friend and a colleague, and I get choked up, so you'll have to excuse me if I get emotional. I will say it was always a pleasure working with Maret. She was, there's 2 types of actors you can work with, the wankers and the nice ones, and she was in the nice ones, in the top 5% of the nice ones. It's a very funny kind of experience being in a set, in a TV show or a movie. It's very competitive. You've got your little moment and you have to shine. And I didn't, until today, I didn't really know a lot about Maret's private life. You don't share a lot when you're on set. It's very busy. But I definitely got a sense of her kind of kindness and wisdom. I always liked having her beautiful energy on set. She would just do her own thing, and she had that grumpy kind of style and that sharp sense of humour. That dry, but I think somebody touched on it before about she did remind you of your mum I think that's one of the secrets to the success in the character that she played. And I think so much she reminded me of my mum. My mum was a little bit like that. She reminded me of sort of an older time in Australia, an older kind of style of Australian that we don't see very often now. It's changing, the culture. So it was always great having her, and she was very funny. I mean, obviously she was funny in life, but it's not easy to be funny in a set in front of cameras and a whole bunch of actors and strangers. That she just had a natural sense of humour, and it was always a great pleasure working with her. You know, we worked together for 15 years off and on, which is a long time. Fat Pizza, one of our series, Swift and Shift Couriers, Housos, and a couple of other series after that. So it's a long time, and I don't like to kind of keep working with people if they're not good. So I could just, to the family and friends, she was a real favourite of mine because she was so unique as a performer. Yeah, you can't say, get me a Beryl. You can't ring up the casting agents and say, find me a Maret. There's none. She was a real one of a kind, and we were really lucky that she was part of the family. It's like a bit of a circus group being in that sort of world. I've had a lot of grief in my life, people passing away, so I know your pain. It's a horrible time. You just eventually... But the one thing I would say that's great about maybe today, and something that maybe you didn't consider, is that because she is recorded digitally, she lives forever. She entertains forever out there on the Netflixes and the whatever else's. So your lovely friend, mother, sister, uncle, auntie, whatever she is to you, she exists forever thanks to the digital realm. Thanks for your time, and all the best. My condolences to friends and family. Thank you.
This one comes from Maret's friend Sue. To my dear friend Maret, I cherished you for so many reasons, including your patience with me as I learned so many things from you. I also cherished the work we did as we changed the world and had some fun too. Love, Sue. Before I invite up Christine, is there anyone that I missed? Fabulous. Okay, well, with that, I would like to invite forward the love of Maret's life, Christine.
Hello, good afternoon. Thank you all for being here today, in person, those watching by live stream, or viewing this recording later. There is a long list of people I should thank, so long in fact that it began to sound like a roll call and I gave the project up. But maybe that's what it is really, a roll call of you who loved Maret and were loved by her. I'd especially like to thank those who contributed so much towards today's event, and to those who've done so much of the hard work. There are not enough words to appreciate how amazing and wonderful you are. Those who've come a long distance, taken a time out of busy schedules to honour Maret, or who have come to support myself and others, thank you so much for your generosity of heart. And to you who have so very kindly and generously shared your own experiences with me, I thank you deeply for the comfort and insight you have given me through these recent days and nights. Maret would have loved being here today. There was nothing she enjoyed more than a party, especially when she was surrounded by people she cared about, people who cared about her, people she liked and admired, and people she would like to get to know, which was a very broad cross-section. Maret's family and friends were the biggest part of her world, her finest, long-lasting collection, more beloved even than the yo-yos, the watches, the percussion instruments, or the wooden women. Maret held in her heart her sisters, close since childhood, and their families, her adored children, her beloved grandchildren, and the extended families which came into being throughout her life, including her much-loved outlaws, my family, and the friends she travelled through life with. From her childhood mates to friends who became family and those she came to love more recently. And of course, the long line of feline beauties who saw the signs left by those who'd come before and walked up the driveways and into our lives. Maret had the great gift of being present in the moment, of listening deeply and really hearing people. You could tell that when you talked with Maret, you became the centre of her attention and her time, even just for a minute. But that's what life is, isn't it? Millions of minutes linked by experiences. When you spend a long time with someone you love deeply, the experiences are often bold and exciting at first, real fire and storm stuff. But as time goes along, it's the quiet minutes that come to mean a lot. A shared joke that no one needs to finish after the first few words, the gentle touch of a hand after a hard day, a hot Milo of congratulations after some success, being the first to guess who'd done it in a small English village murder mystery, recounting stories of the past and making plans for the future, sitting side by side on the station wagon boot, silently watching the earth's shadow cover the moon until darkness. Maret loved to laugh. She had a wonderful sense of humour, and she could take a joke as well as make one. But she had a deeply serious side. She was a woman of principle, and her deepest philosophies were about people. She was a feminist warrior who fought for deep and lasting change. She also embraced the idea that everyone is within reach of hope and comfort. And she believed that people have the capacity to learn and to change their lives. She was there for it, with the door always open and a heart full of love when they did. And she supported people within her life, as well as holding out hope for the world. When COVID hit, Maret became awestruck with the idea that this might be the world's second chance. She was always a bit sad that it didn't end up making the big difference she'd hoped for, but she celebrated the small changes she saw every day. Maret was also able to celebrate changes within herself, even as she often resisted them. She celebrated big changes, especially political and cultural, and loved the idea of making a new system which was fairer and more generous to everyone. But she wanted to do that without the local trees being torn down for tower blocks. She loved the peace and quiet of the suburban world. The tawny frogmouth owls and the fruit bats, the ambling, cat-food snaffling blue tongues, the unexpected frogs, the small creatures of the bush, and of course the garage sale poodles, those clever curly little doggies who immediately recognised Maret as their person. Maret was generous with her praise, and she also had the inner conviction and courage to speak out when she thought it was needed. She could be cantankerous and demanding. She liked to do things herself because then they would be done right. These attributes didn't always win her popularity, and for those who stayed the distance and argued their ground, no one could be a firmer friend or a more generous mentor. I admired Maret as a person, and I loved her very deeply as my partner and my friend. Our house seems very empty without her huge, engaging, argumentative, dear personality. I even miss the regular daily bickering about whose turn it is to check up after the cats. Maret was a wonderful storyteller who took that skill into public life as an activist, street theatre performer and barbecue fairy in young womanhood, and an actor in later years. But in many essential ways, she remained a very private individual. Maret's death felt sudden. Although she'd been unwell for a long time, no one expected that her last trip to hospital would be the time that she left us. Maret lived her own life as she wanted. She made her own decisions and chose her own path. And now that smart, funny, passionate, wise, brave woman has become a story we tell each other, a memory, an ancestor. The minutes seem very long without her. Thank you.
As we near the end of the service, I'd like you all to take a moment to ground yourselves. Take a deep breath and feel Maret here with us. Think back on your happy memories with her. Think of a time she taught you something. Think of discussions you've had. Think of a moment when you laughed with her. Throughout this next tribute, feel her hand on yours, comforting and supporting you through your grief. Use this time to have private, internal conversations with our dear Maret. Leave nothing unsaid or unfelt. Thank her for the good times and say a fond farewell. As you wish her an eternity of peace, find your own peace in that too. I'd like to invite forward Maret's son Shannon and his partner Leah to perform a song to honour Maret.
This isn't going to be easy. Little by little I've come to this point on my own. I've been searching my way. Lost you so early, the days went so fast. You don't know how I prayed every day. A song to remember, a song to forget. But you'll never know how I tried to make you proud and to honor your name. But you never told me goodbye. But now that you have gone, casting shadows from the past, you and all the memories were lost. Don't you cry, suffer over me. I will be waiting for you. Don't you cry, angels never fade away. I'll be watching over you, see you through. to surrender, time to forgive. It's all as I give you this song. Now that you have gone, casting shadows from the past, in my dreams your voice I hear at last. Don't you cry, suffer over me. I will be waiting for you. Don't you cry, angels never fade away. I'll be watching over you. I can see you tonight in the pale moonlight. Mother of sun again, the bond of love will never end.
Without a doubt, the hardest gig that they'll ever do, so well done. Before I finish up, I'd like to fill out a cat card and leave it in the litter box. Be sure to grab a fridge magnet and a sprig of rosemary if you haven't already. Stick around afterwards, eat, share stories, and celebrate this incredible woman. Maret, thank you for your friendship and loyalty, for the good times and the difficulties that have provided the opportunity for change and transformation. Thank you for the legacy you have left, for your creativity and inspiration, your guidance and your counsel. Thank you for your care and dedication to humanity. Thank you for the kindness and compassion you showed in times of great personal duress. Thank you for your smile and the magic you wove into the lives of those around you. Thank you for being you. This community is a far richer place for your presence among us. Our love is with you wherever you are. Thank you all for your time today.
Thing that Daddy made sure of. He shoveled coal to make a poor man's dollar. My daddy worked all night in the Bandelier coal mines. All day long in the field hoeing corn. Mommy rocked the babies at night and read the Bible by the coal oil light. And everything would start all over come break of morn. Daddy loved and raised their kids on a miner's pay. Mommy scrubbed our clothes on a washboard every day. Why, I've seen her fingers bleed to complain there was no need. She'd smile in Mommy's understanding way. In the summertime we didn't have shoes to wear, but in the wintertime we'd all get a brand new pair. From a mail-order catalog, money made from selling a hog. Daddy always managed to get the money somewhere. Yeah, I'm proud to be a coal miner's daughter. I remember well the well where I drew water. The work we done was hard. At night we'd sleep 'cause we were taught. I never thought of ever leaving Butcher Holler. share anymore, except the memories of a coal miner's daughter.
A smoky room, a small cafe. They come to hear you play and drink and dance the night away. I sit out in the crowd and close my eyes to read your mind, but you don't know, you don't even know that I am there. I wish that I was in your arms like that Spanish guitar, and you would play me through the night till the dawn. I wish you'd hold me in your arms like that Spanish guitar all night long. All night long, I'd be your song. I'd be your song. Still my heart with every note you play. I pray you look my way and hold me to your heart someday. Yeah. I long to be the one that you caress with tenderness, and you don't know, you don't even know that I exist. I wish that in your arms, and you would play me through the night till the dawn. I wish you'd hold me like that Spanish guitar all night, all night long, all night long. I'd be your song. I'd be your song.
Te sientes entre la gente, cierras tus ojos y sueñas que soy tuya, pero yo no sé ni siquiera que estás ahí.
Me gustaría tenerte en mis brazos, amor. I sit out in the crowd and close my eyes to read your mind, and you don't know, you don't even know that I exist. Spanish guitar, you would play me through the night till the dawn. Oh, baby, like that. Wish that I was in your
and bright. You look happy to meet me. Blossom of snow, may you bloom and grow forever. Edelweiss, Edelweiss, bless my homeland forever.
Small and white, clean and bright, you look happy to meet me. Blossom of snow, may you bloom and grow
take a walk, just a little walk, down beside where the waters flow, down by the banks of the Ohio, and only say that you'll be mine. In no other's arms entwined, down beside where the waters flow, down by the banks of the Ohio. I held a knife against his breast, as into my arms he pressed. He cried, my love, don't you murder me. I'm not prepared for eternity, and only say in no other's arms entwined, down beside where the waters flow, down by the banks of the Ohio. I wandered home between 12 and 1. I cried, my God, what have I done? I've killed the only man I love. He would not take me for his bride, and only say down the side where the waters flow, down by the banks of the Ohio, down by the banks.
way too late. I don't care what they say other lovers do. I just want to dance with you. Well, I got a feeling that you got a heart like mine, so let it show, let it shine. If we get a chance to make one heart of two, I just want to dance with you. I want to dance with you, twirl you all around the floor. That's what they invented dancing for. I just want to dance with you. I want to dance with you, hold you in my arms once more. That's what they invented dancing for. I just want to dance with you. I caught you looking at me when I looked at you. Yes, I did. You know that's true. You don't get embarrassed by the things I do. I just want to dance with you. Now the boys are playing softly and the girls are too. So am I, so are you. If this was the movies, we'd be right on cue. I just want to dance with you. I want to dance with you, twirl you all around the floor. That's what they invented dancing for. I just want to dance with you. I want to dance with you, hold you in my arms once more. That's what they invented dancing for. I just want to dance with you. Oh, I just want to dance with you.
Every day it's a getting closer, going faster than a roller coaster. Love like yours will surely come my way. Hey, hey, hey. Every day it's a getting faster. Everyone said go ahead and ask her. Love like yours will surely come my way. Hey, hey, hey. Every day seems a little longer, every way love's a little stronger. Come what may, do you ever long for true love from me? Every day it's a getting closer, going faster than a roller coaster. Love like yours will surely come my way. Hey, hey, hey. Every day seems a little longer, every way love's a little stronger. Come what may, do you ever long for true love from me? Every day it's a getting closer, going faster than a roller coaster. Love like yours will surely come my way. Hey, hey, hey. Love like yours will surely come my way.
heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord. You don't really care for music, do ya? Well, it goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, the major lift, the baffled king composing hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Well, your faith was strong, but you needed proof. You saw her bathing on the roof, her beauty and the moonlight overthrew ya. Well, she tied you to her kitchen chair, she broke your throne and cut your hair, and from your lips she drew hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Baby, I've been here before. I've seen this room and I've walked the floor. Used to live alone before I knew ya. But I've seen your flag on the marble arch. Our love is not a victory march. It's a cold and it's a broken hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Maybe there's a God above, but all I've ever learned from love was how to shoot somebody who outdrew ya. It's not a cry that you hear at night. It's not someone who's seen the light. It's a cold and broken hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah,
Did you know you can find your favorite artist concerts on Spotify?
climbs a tree and scrapes her knee. Her dress has got a tear.
She waltzes on her way to mass and whistles on the stair.
And underneath her whimper, she has curlers in her hair.
I've even heard her singing in the abbey.
She's always late for chapel,
but her penitence is real.
She's always late for everything,
except for every meal.
I hate to have to say it, but I very firmly feel
Maria's not an asset to the abbey.
I'd like to say a word in her behalf. Maria makes me laugh.
How do you solve a problem like Maria? How do you catch a cloud and pin it down?
How do you find a word that means Maria?
A flibbity-gibbet, a will-o'-the-wisp,
a clown.
Many a thing you know you'd like to tell her. Many a thing she ought to understand.
But how do you make her stay and listen to all you say?
How do you keep a wave upon the sand?
Oh, how do you solve a problem like Maria?
How do you hold on in your hand?
When I'm with her, I'm confused, out of focus and bemused, and I never know exactly where I am.
Unpredictable as weather.
She's as flighty as a feather.
She's a darling.
She's a demon.
She's a lamb.
She'd outpester any pest, drive a hornet from its nest.
She can throw a whirling dervish out of whirl.
She is gentle, she is wild.
She's a riddle, she's a child.
She's a headache, she's an angel.
She's a girl.
How do you solve a problem like Maria? How do you catch a cloud and pin it down? How do you find a word that means Maria?
A flibbity-gibbet, a will-o'-the-wisp, a clown.
Many a thing you know you'd like to tell her. Many a thing she ought to understand.
But how do you make her stay and listen to all you say?
How do you keep a wave upon the sand? Oh, how do you solve a problem like Maria? How do you hold on, moonbeam, in your hand?
that lonesome whippoorwill. He sounds too blue to fly. The midnight train is whining low. I'm so lonesome I could cry. I've never seen a night so long when time goes crawling by. The moon just went behind the clouds to hide its face and cry. When leaves begin to die, like me, he's lost the will to live. I'm so lonesome I could cry. Silence of a falling star lights up a purple sky. And as I wonder where you are, I'm so lonesome I could cry.